But let's pop you over to the Thabo Mbeki Foundation. They're hosting their annual Peace and Security Dialogue in Magaliesburg today. Delegates from different African countries are meeting there to discuss conflicts, including coups on the continent. Speaking now is International Relations Minister Lamola. Let's pop in.
For the African continent. But the US now view things with the lens of bilateral relations. And the US will argue that because they view it within the lens of bilateral relations, we have got no business to speak about the Africa Free Trade Area. And you also have got no business to speak about SACU. You must just speak about your interest and leave all these other issues that you have got no business to speak about. But we always, as South Africa, view our role in the continent as that of re-emphasizing the importance of multilateral platform as a key important pillar of regional integration, and that our economy will not succeed just as South Africa alone, as isolated, but will only succeed if the economies in the region are also functioning and they are enabling us to achieve a particular level of economic growth. This also goes to issues of democracy. Hence, we also have to hold each other accountable within the parameters of SADC on elections to respect the constitutions and the processes that guides electoral processes in our countries, including within the auspices of the African Union. I'm raising all these issues to bring to the attention of this gathering, that these are issues that our governments are grappling with on a day-to-day basis. And yourself, I believe it's a safe space. You could also help us to navigate and think them through as a form of bouncing of ideas of how do we then continue in what we believe is the correct position and principle on non-alignment in this changing geopolitical environment. The second one on progressive internationalism. This is a belief that our actions cannot be divorced from our deepest domestic values, human rights, social justice, and the rule of law. We know that a just world is a sustainable world, and a system built on injustice is inherently unstable. I hear the criticism that this is a noble but naive ideal, that in the messy reality of conflict, our moral compass must not be compromised. They ask us if we let the butcher buy peace with the lives of his victims. I say to you, the balance between justice and peace is not an equation to be solved, but a difficult tension to be managed. And how do we focus this progressive vision? Through our third and most vital lens, Pan-Africanism. The Pan-Africanism is the soil in which our freedom grows. It is the unwavering belief that our destinies are linked. When conflicts ravages one nation, it weakens the entirety of the continent. It also means the entirety of the continent needs to stand together to resolve the conflicts that ravages any part of the continent or any one member state of the African Union. But as the program director was speaking, he said this will not only happen, but it needs leaders to make it possible and to function through the platforms of multilateral bodies and also the member states. And we say South Africa remains committed to all these ideals and the Constitutive Act, but our pens and our positions needs to be sharpened from time to time. And forums of this nature do help for self-criticism, to sharpen our direction, and also to refine our position on all these matters. I hope I have assisted to break the ground of discussions for the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You've done that.
So there you have it, sentiments from Ronald Lamola, the International Relations Minister, amongst the first speakers for the Thabo Mbeki. It's the annual African Peace and Security Dialogue, and it's really aimed at bringing together leaders from across the continent, policymakers in some instances, to discuss a wide range of issues around how we could see to the end of conflicts in Africa, including, of course, what we've seen sometimes is a trend of coups in certain aspects of the continent. It's interesting how Ronald Lamola suggests we should approach that age-old problem. He's really spoken or emphasized Pan-Africanism as a response to that. And I wonder to what extent you agree. The idea that it's the coming together of people on the African continent ultimately that will end the kind of conflict that we've seen really ravage homes and communities in many countries. So we do know, of course, as usual, this annual peace and security dialogue usually sits for about 3 days or so. So there'll be many opportunities for you to kind of really sink your teeth into what some of the offerings are as these policymakers and leaders exchange ideas about how to resolve these long-standing issues.